Of course, Buddy Cianci's history in Providence stretches back decades. Tonight, we're joined by longtime Eyewitness News reporter Sean Daly, who covered the mayor for almost his entire time in public life. Sean, thank you very much for coming back.
Good to be back. But you know, this is a tough time to be back.
Sean, you covered Cianci from 1981 to 2014. He was obviously a unique character. Everyone knew who he was, but not a lot of people knew him like you did.
That may be true. I came to think of Buddy as one of only two people in Rhode Island known on a first-name basis. Most people, you know, we all need two names, right? You're Kelly Sullivan. Buddy and Arlene. Top that.
Now, in all those years you were covering him, what really stood out about Buddy? Because I remember it, you're there, he sees you, and you know what? The eyes start rolling when he's to run into you.
Well, there may have been that too. But, you know, the overarching takeaway was always that he was game. It was game on. No matter what circumstance he found himself in, he was ready. And he loved the back and forth. I think he found energy in the back and forth. In a way, not unlike former President Clinton. That's a gauge. These are guys who don't get tired out by it, they get energized by it. An example of that was, as he was heading to prison, the polls were still showing that were he to have been allowed to run, he would have won. There were polls showing him at the top. Check out this clip.
What do these numbers say? 35% say they would vote for you even as a convicted felon.
Well, all I can tell you is that I think people look to performance and they see the city moving in the right direction, and they see that the city of Providence has been truly a success in many, many ways. But I guess the numbers show that if I were a candidate, I'd be in the race, I guess. And
in the race, it shows you would win the race.
Shows I would win the race? Well, I've won 6 before, so that doesn't surprise me. Well, there's been some corruption, obviously. I'm sorry for that. I should not have presided over an administration, obviously, that had some of that going on in it. But I
You say you're sorry, Mayor. Do you regret?
Sure.
And do you take some responsibility for it?
Of course I take responsibility for it. The buck stops here, as they say. But whether I was part of it or not, it's another story.
So there it is again, his ongoing, years-long denial of any criminal wrongdoing. Mistakes, yes, no crimes.
So he never shied away from the camera. He never shied away with you when you asked him those type of questions. Why do you think?
I think he always thought that he would get the better of whoever the questioner was. And in many cases, he maybe did. He thought there was benefit. He really was a public servant. I mean, he loved Providence. He really wanted to serve, and he thought the back and forth was part of the job. There were all kinds of clips, but we saw somewhat of the same thing a few months after that interview that we just showed there, just as he's leaving WPRO for the last time, and that same almost eternal optimism emerges. Take a look.
And I'm sure you can find positive things in everything. And hey, as I said, I'll probably take 40 pounds off. I'll probably get to know myself better. I know one thing, we won't be enjoying any beers or anything like that. And probably cut down tremendously on smoking. And I might even learn Spanish.
Mayor, at the very end of your show there, you said, I wrote it down, so long and I'll see you again sometime. So I get the sense you're going to be back.
Oh, sure, I'm sure you'll be there at the gate when I go in.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
But I will be back.
And sure enough, he did come back. You can't make that up.
Sean, I think he just looked at you and he was waiting for that back and forth because he knew that you're going to ask him those tough questions, but I think he enjoyed that.
He did. He just liked the back and forth, and I think he understood in a way some politicians, frankly, don't understand, that it's part of the job. It's not an option, really, to talk to our audience, because guess who our audience is? They're the voters, and guess who they are? They're the people who pay their salaries. Buddy had an intuitive sense of that, and he knew that to the degree that he could work the audience, he could work the voters. It was a gift.
Mm-hmm. Did he downplay the whole prison thing, do you think?
He did, and interestingly, in one of the clips I found today, I saw something that I hadn't seen even at the time. It's striking, really, where he is trying to suggest that basically prison isn't so bad, I'm going to get through it, and then he, in a foreshadowing way that frankly pretty much blew my mind this afternoon in the newsroom as I went through this old clip and had completely forgotten, the analogy that he drew between prison and what ultimately happened to him.
This going to prison, I mean, I'm not looking forward to it. But imagine if someone said, well, you have an incurable disease and you have 3 months to live or 4 months to live or 6 months to live. I mean, take a look at that and how would you handle it? I don't know how I'd handle that.
Words from 13 years ago that today obviously take on a whole new meaning. It was really surprising to me to see that he drew that exact analogy, essentially saying, look, I'm not going to die in prison. It could be a lot worse. And in point of fact, interestingly, to me, and I think to the viewers, once again, Buddy Cianci was right.
And of course, he battled cancer over the last couple of years. Longtime Eyewitness News reporter Sean Daly. Sean, thanks for coming in. Now, Sean's going to be back to talk more about Buddy Cianci on Eyewitness News at 6:30 over on Fox Providence with more footage and more reflections on the former mayor. Thanks, Sean.